Hey, what's up, 3Z fam? I wanted to do a quick video called Sometimes You Have to Burn It to Rise from the Ashes in it. Um, in derivative houses, the eighth house, the eighth sign from any sign is the death, the rebirth, the transformation, the regeneration of that sign, of that house. And so if we were looking at something like our career, or our public image, what we wish to be recognized for, the notoriety, the reputation, our status, naturally the 10th house. Eight signs from that would be the fifth house of creativity, fun, romance, the thing that gives life to our spirit. It could be even our children, our creative projects, or things that we just get into the flow of. It reminds me of that movie, what is it called? Soul, the Disney movie where he get on the piano and he just go into the zone and lose himself in that flow, in that Zen, and he found himself in heaven, or what would be a Zen-like, heaven-like space. When he would get into the music and really feel it, get into the groove of it. And so it didn't matter what he was doing in his career when he could find that space. And so when people reach this sort of like um, roadblock in their circumstance where they're like, I've been doing the same thing forever. I don't even know what I really want to do. That fifth house will tell you how to burn it, put everything into the bonfire of your career, the way you wish to be recognized, and the notoriety you wish to gain in this lifetime for whatever you do. Burn the public image so that it can be transformed and transmuted. And so by looking at the fifth house sign, ruler, planets in the fifth house, we can kind of get a good sort of, I would say, just a picture of what the person could do to give life, to use the fumes from that fire they've burned, that the complete obliteration of their reputation, their career, and all that stuff, using those fumes to start something new, or even using the ashes from that to fertilize the new soil, to, even if they're going to stay in what they're doing, to find the joie de vivre, the luster for life again in whatever they do. So here's a quick example. I pulled up someone's chart to give you guys an example of someone in my life, right? So this person, super smart, graduated from high school at 16 years old, full ride to RIT, MIT, ended up taking the route, and I think even Brown University, ended up taking the route to RIT, um, but never really sort of lived for themselves. Like, they had some issues with, because of the tourist rising, like waking up on time. And so there was issues in college early on. They ended up going into the military, the army of all places, and becoming military police, which is completely, like the opposite of what this chart, would long-term support. But it was something that I think they needed to gain the discipline. And we see here the Jupiter in Aries, which, and all that, and Chiron, which ended up being their fall. They got, they honorably discharged from the military, I think, after maybe serving like 10 years or so. And this person ended up getting into project management, got a double master's degree in um, business, international business, and then decide, you know what? I'm just, everything I do it so well. I'm kind of bored with this monotonous lifestyle. So they uproot their life and decide they're going to start a business in West Africa. And this is like back in 2004, something like that, right? And everything, one thing after another, has just gone wrong with their business. But in this process, they discovered their love for farming and agriculture. So if we're looking at the 10th house in this person's chart, we see Aquarius here. And we count, eight houses from that space. And if you're new to derivative houses, I want you to think of whatever house it is, the opposite will be the seventh, right? The seventh from this house, because we're counting the house itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The eighth house from the 10th would be the fifth house. And so the fifth sign, Virgo, agriculture, the connection to plants and plant life. This person is a currently an agricultural project manager. They connect people with farms. They connect businesses with farms. And so the ruler of this fifth house for this person is Mercury retrograde in Libra, conjunct the sun under the beams, right? Well, Mercury in Libra is the negotiator, right? It's the mediator. This person is the bridge for different businesses, connecting them with farming material, the land, the resources, the just connect. His actual logo is connecting farmers to markets. Now, this person had to do a complete destruction or destructo catapult, sort of like blow your life up multiple times to get them to that space where they realize they love farming and agriculture. And not only that, they use their transferable skills from project management to maintain this, this image now, but they love it. When you listen to this person talk about the different types of soil and the different types of cocoa plants and rubber trees, and talking about, like, for example, Firestone's rubber plantation, their little rubber village that they have there in West Africa, and going in depth in the history of it and how many years the life cycle of a rubber tree is, and how the sap does this, and how they tap the trees. And I mean, they really get like in their zone with it, and being out on the farm and then just enjoying that experience. That's that Venus there, Venus losing itself in the idea of farming. And so I say, let's take him outside of this situation and say he was still working a dead end, let's say like IT project management job in the States. And he was just pushing through, working towards retirement and all that stuff. This person could easily, things that you can do tangibly to activate that fifth house energy would be, they could visit greenhouses. They could have an entire, garden, a huge garden in their home, planting different herbs and trees and all that stuff, roots, and tending to their garden, enjoying the process of, even having microgreens and pulling fresh herbs and stuff from their garden and putting it in their smoothie in the morning. That would make this person feel as though their daily routines, daily activities are, divinely inspired. It would almost urge or push them into the excitement about their career again. So just to kind of recap, I wanted this to be quick. To burn some rubber, to burn some whatever, everything has to come down and blow it up. To eat marshmallows by the fireside of you completely destroying the thing that is killing the life force in you, you got to do your fifth house thing, which is the eighth sign from the 10th. And in doing that, you'll transmute it into the fruits of that, which ultimately is the sixth house, right? Because the sixth house is daily work and routines. It's your day job. So you will find a way through doing the thing you love. You might get a flash of insight. You might feel a sudden urge or inspiration, to do that. So I want to look at a couple more, charts of and examples of the eighth house or sign from any sign and see how it plays out. For example, we'd look at the eighth sign from the second being our earned income, our self-worth, and our possessions, right? How we value what we have. For this person, Gemini is in the second house. So 8 signs from that would be what? The ninth house, which would be Capricorn. This person owns their own business, again, connecting farmers to markets. So play around with this technique. Look at the 8th sign, the 8th house from any house in your horoscope, and say to yourself, how can I transform, completely destroy, have the death of and the rebirth of this thing or this area of my life? If it's my 3rd house, my thinking. If it's my 4th house, my identification with home and family and roots. What can I do to completely destroy this thing so that it is transformed in my life and it becomes something fruitful for me, something that is resourceful for me. What I love about the natural eighth house in the zodiac is the ability to repurpose. And so, whatever it is in your life that you need to resuscitate life into and repurpose, play around with this in your horoscope. I'd love to use your chart. I want to thank you for being a Patreon subscriber. Go ahead and either comment below, or if you're shy, go ahead and send me an inbox, and I'll do a quick video using your chart and how you can sort of use the fumes, the ashes to fertilize that 10th house through your 8th house joy, creativity, the fun, the pleasures, the things that you go into the Zen with. All right, y'all. Thank you.
Astrology, astrology, what I say, astrology. Baby, let me take ya. Some of my